much joy, loves being out there. Remember, he's part of that great 2004 class with Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger, two of them still in the league today. Now he's probably going to go over 60,000 passing yards and 400 touchdowns this season. The big question mark, how much does he have left in the tank? I think he's got plenty.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
A 7-yard.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. From the gun, Rivers fighting Hilton on his slant. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Rivers now to throw on 1st down. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. If you want a lesson on how to defeat an offensive tackle, that was pretty textbook.
Is that a clip and save? That's what's going to go around the league, and people are going to watch that and say, my goodness, that's how you do it? And I feel awful for the offensive tackle because we always talk about the athleticism of that guy who just beat him. Well, you have to be athletic to try and block that guy. Just in this case, the defense won.
A
quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent game.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise there in the dive. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. Taken in by the tight end, Doyle. And he gets it just shy of midfield, but that's not enough. He's short of the marker. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
Good catch there by Jack Doyle. He went to the Pro Bowl in 2019, but now has a new quarterback in Phillip Rivers, and he wants to be the Antonio Gates that Phillip Rivers threw to with the Chargers.
And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
At their own 7-yard line.
Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Boyd. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain of right around 35 yards on a play that started back inside their 10. Well, that'll help get you out of danger. So much for playing it conservatively back towards your own goal line.
That aggressive mentality, sometimes you can use it, and they did there against a defense who probably thought to themselves, there's no way they take a shot here this deep in their own territory.
Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down.
And a good pickup there by Mixon, and that shows the talent that he has. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 4th in the NFL in 2018, 9th last year. But I look for those numbers to jump back up again with the introduction of new talent in Cincinnati.
1st down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
He was brought down.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now it's Burrow. A heavy rush, and down he goes. On after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. From midfield now, Burrow. And Tate's got it. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another 1st down at the Colts 26. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
Bengals.
1st down. Here's Burrow. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3.
And it's 3rd down.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And it looks like he's going to be stopped short of the first down by about a yard.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop him short of a first down.
And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. So the decision to go for it turns out to be a good one. They get a couple of yards, and as a result, the drive keeps moving. It's now 1st and goal. And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Bengals. It's Tyler Boyd. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Fielded in the end zone. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. Don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
That's complete to Hines out of the backfield. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. This is Hines. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
That's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 1.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Bengals 7, Colts nothing.
On 3rd down, Hines, and he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
1st and 10, Taylor now. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
The tackle.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 49-yard line.
On 2nd and 12, Rivers. He's got Jack Doyle. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. The Colts on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. He'll find Hines out of the backfield. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Joe Mixon and the Bengal offense ready to go back to work. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Now they go play action now. Burrow. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Burrow. On the slant, complete to Green. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
Cincinnati.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Carrier.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Tackle made at the 38.
Good strong tackle by DeForest Buckner. Remember, the Colts gave up their 1st-round pick, number 13 overall, to get him from San Francisco, and they certainly think he's worth it.
Well, he's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Complete to Tate. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A defensive breakdown allows a pickup of 16 on 4th down.
Bengals.
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. They'll give it to Mixon. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
Joe Mixon, the ball carrier.
So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run.
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals.
Mixon on the carry.
A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
Taken in the end zone. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
The Indianapolis Colts at 3-2 here in 2020. Had their 3-game win streak snap week 5 at the hands of the Browns. 32-23. You know, the Colts defense is allowing 14 points a game coming in. That season high 32 to Baker Mayfield, and the suddenly hot Browns ultimately doomed them. But CD, what do you make of the Colts through 5 weeks? Is their defense really good, or have they been helped out by a favorable schedule?
Well, there's no question they've been helped a little bit by a favorable schedule, but I think it's a good defense overall. I like what they've done. I like how they respond, but their offense has really got to help them a little bit more. You know, Jonathan Taylor is going to run it, but at the same time now, Phillip Rivers not taking care of the ball as they expected him to. They thought he'd bounce back from what we saw last year in Los Angeles, and that's been a bit of a problem for them. So I do think that this is a team that has potential. There's no question about it, but they have to shore some things up, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because they're home for Cincinnati before an open week in Week 7.
3rd and long for Rivers. And that's going to be taken in by Ashton Doolin. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot defensively. How do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do, because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
Now Burrow on 1st down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Tate. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down. They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Rock-Ya-Sin. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis in his first half of action. The 2nd down throw on target. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 11 yards there, 1st down.
33-yard line.
A 1st down throw here for Rivers. The pass underneath. Here's Hines with it. Tain him to just 4. 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
They'll try and set up the screen to Hines. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. Looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. And with a 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look. To the air again here, Rivers. The throw on the money there to Doolin. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the red zone now, Rivers will set up the screen to Taylor. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. 14-yard touchdown. And the Colts have got it back to a one-score game. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. And that one makes it 14-7. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it culminates in an Indianapolis touchdown. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. Now it's Wilson. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, is that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And he hits him in stride. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A very solid gain of 27. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Green's open, and he's got it for a Bengal touchdown.
To number 18.
A.J. Green in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bengals add on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point.
Randy Bullock to kick off for Cincinnati.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. Fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. No reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first down. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. The white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. It was Joe Mixon who led the way in that first half. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we send you back to Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
First down.
On first down, Bernard. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
On second down, here's Burrow. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be 3rd and 10. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on second down, and that leads to a tough 3rd down call. Complete to his tight end Sample. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts 36. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
First down,
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
First down, Bengals.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And Green with a catch left side. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
On the pickup.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Bernard getting the handoff from Burrow. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line.
Bernard, the ball carrier.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. They'll run it here with Bernard. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD.
Touchdown.
A 10-yard touchdown run. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Randy Bullock to kick off for Cincinnati.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. Taken in the end zone. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper. They need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing. And try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. That catch good for only a couple.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now this is Hilton on the receiving end. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
Good for a Colts.
Reception there by T.Y. Hilton, and he absolutely terrifies defenses when he gets downfield. Speed, shiftiness, excellent hands. 5 1,000-yard seasons in his career.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run on first down. It's Hines, and this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
from the 41. Rivers. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Getting the sack, the big D tackle, Geno Atkins.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades.
He rifles one, it's intercepted. Picked up by Von Bell. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
Well, it's third and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Flush to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
On second down, Burrow. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Green. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 12 yards there and a first down. So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Slant pass to Burrow. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Tyler Boyd, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And thanks to the interception, the Bengals offense cashes in with 6. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. Fielded in the end zone. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
Offense. Interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Working out of the gun, Rivers. Taken in by the tight end, Doyle. Rivers, 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
A gain of 7 brings up second down at the 34-yard line.
On second down, it's Taylor. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd and 13.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Rivers. And this one complete to Doolin. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards yards on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Tyler Boyd and the rest of the offense heading back out. Sort of a slow and steady game so far, but reliable for him here in this third quarter.
Sounds like we're describing a possession receiver, right? The one that finds a way to make the big catches, the ones that break the backs of defenses, keep first downs, accumulating. I think he's that and maybe a little bit more.
He's been pretty good so far. We'll see if he can make this good game a great game.
Brings up second.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
1st down, Bengals.
Nice catch there by A.J. Green. And at the beginning of his career, a perennial Pro Bowl receiver. Been dinged up a little bit the last 2 years, but now he gets a fresh start. Without his friend and quarterback, Andy Dalton, his leadership will be key.
We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. It's brought in left side by Tate.
Burrow's pass.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. To the air again, Burrow. That's complete to the tight end Sample. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 11 yards there, 1st down.
A gain of 11.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Joe Mixon. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 more there and another 1st down.
22-yard line.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
15-yard line. It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2.
On 2nd down now, Mixon. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a 1st down. They ran it and picked it up.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown.
Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Joe Mixon with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals just continue to pour it on. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will because both teams came into the game with the will to win. But one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Indy set to go on offense once more. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Rivers and the Colts going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. From the gun, he'll set up to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league. It's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. 3rd and short yardage, Rivers. He's got Jack Doyle. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Pickup brings up second.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Rivers on the money, complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 33. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Again, it's Rivers. This goes out right to Doyle.
Rivers pass.
A gain of 6 there on first. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They run with Hines. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun, and they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Left side, Doyle with it.
Complete to Jack Doyle.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. And they will catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
4th down.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Makes the score Bengals 42, Colts 10.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble, bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27.
1st and 10. At their own.
There's A.J. Green as he gets set to go again on offense. He's been a load for them to handle defensively, I know that much.
But look at him. He's got 7 catches on the game, and he's starting to shred them a little bit because not only is he catching them, he's picking up good yardage, keeping the chains moving, ball control, you name it. This big guy, what did you say? He's been a load for them to handle?
That's right.
Agreed.
This has 7 catches, as you said, over 100 yards. Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
He was taken down.
DeForest Buckner in on the tackle.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd down.
Again, it's Mixon. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45.
Joe Mixon.
2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
A 2-yard gain on the play.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Third and medium, they opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. First down.
A gain of 12.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to give a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line. Yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space.
A 6-yard pick.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They'll run again with Bernard. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
Giovanni Bernard.
It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Blackman on the tackle.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
First down, Bernard. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the red zone now, here's Burrow, first down. And this will be caught, and the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
A.J. Green. Touchdown.
He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
To kick off for
now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Taken in the end zone. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. So long, everybody.